Welcome back to Making the Difference Foundation. The exception to the rule. There's plenty of explanation in life, but no excuses. Today, I'm going to share with you how did I get the dubious name of the Cussin Preacher. A lot of times I'll tell people, I say, "Oh, I don't have a church. I drink a beer every once in a while. I cuss a little bit, and I'll say I like to see a titty every once in a while. Um, my wife's, of course, but." I'm just real. I'm not fake. I'm not a fraud. I put Preacher Bill in front of my name for a reason, right? It was given to me by the group, the kids that I take care of. Secondly, what would they put in front of your name? I'm not a hypocrite at all. If you see me down at the Roosters or whatever, having a beer and a chicken wing, now I don't overdo it. You won't see me drunk, right? You won't see me there. And I don't do it anymore, but years ago I would go to a strip club. And that one time I went in there, some guy said, microphone, "Hey, Preacher Bill's in the house." That's like God saying, "Hey, you know what? I know what you're doing." See, character isn't anything more than who you are when nobody else is around. That's it. You're an alcoholic, snip a little nip when nobody's around. God knows. You know. You know. Any kind of addiction that you have, God knows. You got to remember that. Sometimes we think that we're hiding things. God knows. He knows. But I wanted to tell a story today of how I got the dubious reputation for being the cussing preacher. Now, I do cuss, and I don't like it. I hate it. To me, it's like the being a cigarette smoker, right? Or an alcoholic, anything. Everybody's got a vice. Everybody's got a cross to carry. And in this particular case, um, it stayed with me for years. And it still does. People still do. They say, and I've kind of embraced it. Oh, yeah, I'm the cussing preacher. But, I always tell people, it's better being a preacher sleeping with your wife. And I'm going to tell you what, there's a whole lot more of those than there are that cuss. Um, I'm not proud of it. I've owned it, and I live with it. But how it started was I was on the church bus many years ago, and probably a church van. And my 5-year-old son, Austin, was in the back seat with a bunch of sixth graders, and they're beating the heck out of him. They're pounding him into the seat, and I'm trying to tell him to stop. They're trying to goof, but he's crying his butt off. I pull the van over the side of the road. I open that door up, and I just let him have it. I mean, bing, you son of a boom, you son of a bing. I'm going to kick your bing. You know what I mean? And I'll never forget that because two things happened on that day. I think I scared the kids in the van, especially the ones that beat up my son that were 6, 7 years older. But I also learned something, not just about myself, but the individual, though, that beat up my son. Years later, he found me and he said, Preacher Bill, he said, it's my fault that they call you cussing, the cussing preacher, isn't it? And I said, well, it had a little something to do with it, but I raised 5 teenage girls too. That had a lot to do with it. But I said, but I don't hold it against you. I said, it's just what it is. I said, I lost control and I lost my faculties and did something I probably shouldn't have done. But now it's stayed with me. It'll stay with me till I die. They'll probably mention it at my funeral. They called him the cussing preacher. Is what it is. But he shared some things in his life that had happened to him. And he said, if it wasn't for the teachings and the things that you did for me, I would have went down some bad roads. He said, I did make some bad choices. But he said, I just wanted you to know that you did make a difference. And even on that day, when I did what I did to your son, I felt bad about it when I got home and stuff. He said, I really did. You may not have known it, but I did. And I said, well, I appreciate that. That's pretty cool. And so I just want you to know that a lot of times people call you something or you get some kind of stigma because of something, embrace it. Embrace it. I am what I am. I am who I am. I do what I do. I'm not proud of it necessarily all the time. This video may not be good for somebody. Some people might say, I ain't watching that guy no more. Golly, he's drinking and he drinks. He comes through. It is what it is. I tell people there's two things in life that'll change your life. A Bible and a mirror, and you don't even have to be religious. A Bible and a mirror will change your life. You're a bigot, you're a racist, you're a sexist, Whatever you are is in that mirror. The only person that can change it is you. Only you. And the Bible is basic instructions before leaving earth. Don't have to be religious to understand that. John 3:16 and John 3:17 cover it all. For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten Son. For whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. Which means absolutely nothing without John 3:17. Christ came in the world to save it, not to condemn it. Have a good day. Don't hold it against me that I'm the Cussin Preacher, because I'm sure I wouldn't hold anything that you are against you.